The Legend of Zelda series is usually pinned as being about exploration, adventure, story, and the struggle of a courageous hero to overcome evil. But I'd be lying if I said it wasn't also about the combat, and there are some pretty fucking unique and powerful characters in Zelda games. Ganondorf, Ghirahim, Daruk, and of course the hero himself, Link. So what if Nintendo developed a fighting game to pit the characters of the Zelda series against each other? Not like Hyrule Warriors, a proper 1v1 competitive fighter game, like Pokken Tournament or Street Fighter. How cool would that be? Yeah, I said cool, not likely. Let's look into how it could work.
Okay, I know what you're gonna say. We've got Smash coming later this year. That's got Zelda characters, right? Yeah, I fucking love Smash.
Out of the two Smash games still played competitively today, Melee has 5 Zelda characters out of a roster of 26, and Smash 4 still only 5 out of a roster of 58. I'm talking a proper competitive fighting game featuring just Zelda characters. There are more than enough of them to fill a roster with creativity and variety. Plus, Smash is a really unique fighter. Being the only real popular platform fighter game, it's much more likely if a Zelda fighting game ever were to happen, it'd be more traditional. One thing we definitely need to look at related to the possibility of a Zelda fighter is Pokken Tournament. Developed by Bandai Namco, the guys behind Tekken, Pokken is obviously somewhat similar to the original series, but features a large amount of Pokemon as the main playable fighters for the roster, even more in the later DX version on the Switch. I'm mentioning it because it really came out the blue. Yeah, Pokemon has always been about pitting one creature against another, but not in a competitive fighting game, and Nintendo really pushed its competitive scene too. The existence of Pokken helps the chances of a Zelda fighter, even if only slightly. So let's have a look at what we could possibly expect from it. First up, obviously the roster. There's absolutely no shortage of badass, unique fighter characters in the Zelda series. Just off the top of my head, I can easily think of 23 characters, the same number as Pokken. Link, Ganondorf, Ganon, Zelda, Yuga, Impa, Sheik, Vati, Skull Kid, Mipha, Urbosa, Daruk, Revali, Skirvo, Midna, Demise, Ghirahim, Tingle, Groose, Ravio, Bokoblin, Darknut, Tetra. And that's not even considering alternate versions of characters such as Ocarina of Time or Wind Waker Ganondorf, Toon Link, Skyward Sword or Twilight Princess Zelda, Dark Link, Phantom Ganon, etc. It's a series that's more focused on exploration and discovery, especially recently with the release of Breath of the Wild, but it's always been about combat too. And as I've shown, there are so many unique and strong fighters, it makes sense for a Zelda fighter to happen the most out of any of Nintendo's other core series, save for maybe Fire Emblem. We've already seen Link before in a competitive fighting game outside of Smash Bros. In Soul Calibur 2 on the GameCube. He works obviously as a sword fighter, but similarly to Smash Bros, utilises a range of items like his boomerang, bow and bombs.
Another thing to note is Hyrule Warriors, where Nintendo licensed out the Zelda series to a third party. We hardly ever see Nintendo this lenient with their first party titles, especially not one as big as influential as Zelda. But Hyrule Warriors is such a break away from the normal Zelda game, a Dynasty Warriors hack and slash game. This isn't the fighting game I would have hoped for, and I don't care for it too much personally, but the fact that they're willing to do new things and take Zelda in new directions is promising.
A fighting game with hearts instead of health bars, either a 2.5D fighter like Street Fighter, or even a hybrid like Pokken, would help play off Breath of the Wild's successes and further push Nintendo into the eSports scene. Who wouldn't want to see Daruk smashing the fuck out of Tingle on a big screen at EVO? Nintendo have been focusing on eSports a lot more recently. While old school fans of Smash Bros will know that they haven't always been, and still aren't really, great with supporting their games in a competitive environment. But recently with Splatoon and Pokken, Nintendo have been pressing a lot more into esports, even having a Twitter account dedicated to it, Nintendo Versus. Overall, I think that out of all of Nintendo's franchises, Zelda is probably the most suited to a competitive fighter. Instantly recognisable and unique characters, an already huge fanbase to sell to, and a fighter-shaped hole to fill in the Switch's lineup. What do you guys think of this? Would you buy a Zelda fighting game? Leave your answer in the comments below. Cheers guys, and I'll see you next time.